a feeling of not enough time to do things properly. Now, some people really are stressed out by this. And I would say the thing to think about, if that's how you feel, is there's not enough time in life to do everything perfectly. By the way, let me do a little survey because I can see one of the screens. There's about 4 screens of you. Who has this feeling of not enough time to do things properly? Can I just do a little survey? I can see a few people putting their hands up. Some other people don't care. That's fine. We're not taking notes. And actually, if you didn't put your hand up, that's good. Because there's not enough time to do everything perfectly. Okay? So the game is, first of all, importance. The game is to work out what's important and what isn't, and spend as much time as you can on the important things, but the other stuff has to be done less well. So if you take, for example, I don't know, teaching something to your children or cleaning your car, you can choose which of those is more important. And if you've chosen your car is more important, then I'm not going to judge you. But I think most people would probably say their children are really important and their car is not very important. Cleaning the car, anyway, is not very important. So what you should do, according to time management, is spend as much time as you can with your children and minimize the time cleaning the car. Just clean around the headlights and the handles or something, and just find a very quick way to do that. So that's the first thing. You can't do everything perfectly. So if you feel stressed because your car isn't perfectly clean, the first thing to do is to say to yourself, I can't do everything perfectly. Nobody can. There's not enough time. And if I did my car really well, I probably would be, or I would be neglecting something else, like, say, my children or my friends or self-development or whatever it is you want to spend more time on. Perhaps spending time with your parents who are getting a bit old, whatever. So the first thing is to realize that it should be about importance rather than trying to do everything perfectly. Now, some people really have a struggle with this, and they have a thing called the Be Perfect driver. Be perfect. And this is a personality driver. There's 2 others I'm going to come to later. And personality drivers are like a little voice in your head which says, oh, no, that's got to be right. For example, if my watch is out by more than a minute, it really annoys me. I have to put it right. And I used to have a watch where the minute hand, there were little lines on 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes past. And sometimes when the second hand was at the top, the minute hand would be in between 2 of the dividing bits. Do you know what I mean? And they used to really annoy me. I used to spend ages trying to line up the minute hand so it was exactly. So I've got the Be Perfect driver, and I am fussy, and I shouldn't be, because the Be Perfect driver will make you waste time on things that don't matter. But it does really bug me if there's a scratch on my iPhone, for example. Oh, I can't bear it. Some people have the whole screen cracked on their phone, don't they? How can they do that? I couldn't cope with that. So and sometimes I notice that a bit of hair's gone on the other side there, like that, and that that annoys me. So I am fussy. I'm just having a look at you now and seeing who's got very fussy hair and who hasn't. Right? Okay. I'm not going to name names, but I can see. I'm just going to say, well done to Jen Lynn. Yeah. So once you realize about the Be Perfect, who thinks they might be a bit too fussy for their own good, by the way? Can I just see anybody who reckons they're a bit on the, yeah, so there's a few people there. So what we tend to do if we've got the Be Perfect driver, we feed it hoping it will go away. So we think, right, I'm going to spend more time lining up those clothes absolutely perfectly and lining up those price tags and making sure. And of course, we want things to look smart, don't we? But you can spend forever spotting one more little thing. And quite possibly in the stockroom round the back, which nobody ever sees, you also have all the boxes exactly lined up. And in a way, I like to see that because I like to know that people care. But actually, it's probably a waste of time. And more important is probably spending time helping customers choose, exactly the right bra for them or something, rather than lining up the boxes in the stockroom. So if you've got the Be Perfect driver, rather than feeding it, obeying it, hoping that that's going to satisfy it, because it never will, it'll just get bigger and stronger, you have to push back against it and think, no, I'm going to leave that slightly not lined up. I'm going to leave that because it's not important and it's not going to kill me. So when I send texts, I always want to get all the spelling exactly right and the font and everything and, the right capital letters. But sometimes I send a text and I don't correct a typo because I just think I'm pushing back against my my Be Perfect driver. I'm not going to be a slave. I'm not going to be ruled by this thing in my head. Okay, so once you learn about Be Perfect drivers, it's great because you can think, right, you can push back against it. Don't feed it because it won't go away. It'll just get bigger. Like feeding a stray dog, hoping that will make it then go away. It won't. It'll be hanging around your door forever if you do that.